coming up on Rods and Wheels.
Whoa! Oh. Got him! Whoa! Oh, big! That's a little bit better fish.
Rods and Wheels is presented by WAHL Facial Hair Trimmers.
Weeks ago, two common guys found themselves embarking on the motorcycle riding backcountry fishing trip of a lifetime. Tulsa business attorney Brad Beasley and retired recon Marine Joseph Kowalski were chosen by a nationwide ESPN search. Their aim was to ride through the southeast region of the U.S., uncovering the fishing subcultures of the region. Strangers at first, Brad and Joe have built a lifelong friendship through their common passions. Today, the two are one step closer to the culmination of their journey as they near Florida's Lake Okeechobee in search of trophy largemouth bass. Although this is a trek neither will soon forget, Sergeant Kowalski rides with an emptiness that can never be replaced, mourning the loss of his best friend and the irreplaceable memories fostered between lifelong fishing buddies. Joe takes time to pay his deepest respects.
When we left Sebastian to go visit Joe's friend's mother, Mrs. Andrews, in Sebring, I think Joe was real anxious.
Steve and I grew up 60s and the 70s in Cheshire, and we lived right across the street from each other. So he was an only child, so was I. So we managed to become pretty good friends. My mom would watch us, his mom would watch us, his mother and my mother were always giving each other rides back and forth to work. January 27th of 2000. Got a phone call from his wife at 11:30 at night, and Steve had died of a heart attack. And I had to come down and give his eulogy. And it was hard. Charge.
Ready?
As I'll ever be.
Joseph.
Mrs. Andrews,
It's so lovely to see you, darling.
How are you?
Oh.
When we were kids, we were always together. You know, she helped raise me, as my mom helped raise him.
You want to look at the flag that they gave me for Stephen's funeral?
Yeah, and then I'd kind of like to get over there if we could.
Yeah, it's not very far away.
Okay.
So it won't take us
Do you
very long.
mind driving? Because
No,
I don't think I'm going to be able to ride my bike.
You're worse than I am, Joseph. I know,
I
sweetie.
miss him.
I know, sweetie.
I'm not good with words with this kind of stuff, but it's just a lot of emotions, a lot of emotions. We wound up going to Lake Okeechobee, Mexico in 1998, just before he passed away. And that's where I caught my big one. I was 8'6". And we hadn't seen each other physically in about 10 years because he was in the Air Force, I was in the Marines. We're stationed on opposite ends of the world most of the time. Hey, bub. Miss you. Every time I pick up that fishing rod, I miss you. Still remember that time that we went up to Mr. Hume's pond. I had that orange fly rod. I snapped the thing in half. And he was...
Oh, dear. Agreed.
Made you a promise. I'm gonna keep it. Promised him I'd look after you a little bit.
You've done that, sweetie.
I promised him I would. And I miss him. Every time I pick up a fishing rod, I miss him. So if anybody out there ever has a chance and you have a lifelong friend, keep in touch with them. It'll do you over the long run.
When Rods and Wheels returns, Sergeant Kowalski runs into a bit of a snag.
No cigars on the boat.
Rods and Wheels is presented by WAHL Facial Hair Trimmers, the brand used by professionals.
Our trophy bass fishing excursion continues from Florida's legendary Lake Okeechobee. Brad Beasley and Joe Kowalski hit the dock at dawn to get the game plan for the day.
Morning.
Morning, how are you?
Good, how are you, sir?
Good, thank you.
Joe Kowalski.
Rick Burton.
Rick, my pleasure, how are you?
Hi, Rick. Brad Beasley. Good morning.
Rick, super nice guy, quiet. He's more of the Brad type, you know, quiet, reserved, but nice young man, knows the lake extremely well, extremely knowledgeable. We have a mission, one 10-pound largemouth.
They're out there.
Let's get one.
All right. No cigars on the boat.
Are you serious?
Boat roll.
It's going to be a long day, Joseph.
It's going to be a long day.
But you're going to catch a 10-pounder.
Yeah, we'll still catch fish.
So what are we going to be fishing with
I'm
him?
just messing.
I was going to say, son.
Rick has been guiding full-time for I think about 4 years. He's 30 years old, but you can't rely on his age in terms of determining his experience and the quality of his guide services.
Whoa.
That's a shiner.
That is a shiner.
The first day when we fished on Lake Okeechobee, we went into areas to fish that were primarily covered with grass. Each of those areas was anywhere from 2 to 3.5 feet of water.
Nail him. Cool.
There we go.
Get that little guy in here. Nice.
One thing that our guide Rick told us when we were fishing, which I took to heart, was to be patient, let the fish take the bait, then count to 3 or 4 before you set the hook.
Let them stay down. Okay, now set it.
There you go.
Get him.
Got him? Got him. Oh.
Good job, Joseph.
A little bit better fish. Yeah, I know a lot about bass fishing, but I'll tell you what, no matter how good you are, I don't care if you're a professional, I don't care if you're Kevin Van Dam, a little bit better fish. When you come to a new lake, it's going to take you a while to figure out what's going on. The first day we started catching fish, it was literally every other cast. A little bit better one.
Yeah, they're continuing to get bigger.
Keep getting bigger with me and good shit.
Every other cast we were pulling out of fish. And that's the main difference between using live bait and artificial baits. I'm always used to using artificial baits, and it's the first time I've really fished with live bait.
This is like a bass fisherman's heaven here, isn't it, Joe?
You ain't kidding.
I mean, you've caught 7 bass in what?
8.
In what? 30 minutes or less?
My kind of place.
No wonder they have so many bass tournaments down here.
The action is just incredible. You can throw a bait in the water, and sooner or later, wham, away it goes. Oh, son, come to daddy. I got him.
He's not ready.
Oh, son.
Hey, that's a nice fish.
Oh, son.
Oh, that go 4 or
son.
5 pounds?
Oh, son. Yahoo!
Well, hang on a second. Let me get your picture with that one.
We need a picture on this one.
Yeah, I'll get your picture on that one, Joseph.
That's a fish.
Well, Joe, we are approaching our collective best day of fishing yet.
Oh, yeah.
I know,
No doubt in my military mind.
You know, we fished for a couple hours just off of Amelia Island, and I think between us we caught 20 fish. And right now we're at 16.
Yeah. We have giant, and it's only 8:30.
Yeah.
Coming up on Rods and Wheels, Joe and Brad go crazy on Lake Okeechobee's thick numbers of trophy bass.
Oh!
Rods and Wheels continues from Florida's notorious bass fishing destination,
Come on, baby.
Lake Okeechobee. Brad and Joe have enjoyed nonstop action throughout the morning. Now, the Sarge is anticipating his personal best.
Whoa. You okay, Joe?
No, but I got the fish. Proper hook set, my boy. Must need proper hook set. No matter how hard that fish, you gotta hit it hard. And I forgot I didn't have a back on the stool.
Probably because he doesn't really know how to fish off the front of the boat. He fell off the seat and onto the boat deck.
The only thought in my mind was, the heck with my butt hurting, my knees, anything else, is the fish still on the end of the line? Never let it be said that, oh God, my ass hurts. Let it never be said that that's some great television.
Joe, when he fell off the seat, set the hook, I mean, it's like the guy that goes underwater and comes up and his cigar's still lit. I mean, he set the hook and got the fish in. Joe, what's the most largemouth bass you ever caught in one day?
30.
Well, you're over halfway to that.
Well, I know, I like it. There we go.
Cool.
Nice.
And I now have a double limit.
Got him. Oh, son. Oh, son.
I've got a number of friends that are serious bass fishermen, and I've heard them and others mention Lake Okeechobee as the pinnacle as far as bass fishing goes.
Nice fish. I've never been here before, but I've been dreaming about fishing this lake for years. I've studied maps, areas of it, and I was very surprised to see all the grass. Every spot you can think of is good. Nice, we'll give this one a little sugar. Jimmy said little sugar. Mwah. Thank you, sweetheart. That was very nice. There you go.
Good fish, Joseph.
Thank you, sir. Your turn.
Okay, now let me ask you a question, Joseph. So you're telling me then, if you'd been sitting in the back of the boat instead of the front of the boat, you'd have still caught more fish today?
It's a possibility.
Oh, it's a possibility. Okay.
Do we know this for a fact? No.
I mean, it sounds like you're backing off of that.
Is it a fact? No, you can't answer your own question.
Oh,
what
can
the
I
hell
answer it?
kind of attorney are you? I was told by a very reliable source, namely my boss, that the attorney always asks a question that he has an answer for. You seem to be forgetting that basic fact, my friend.
Well, the only thing that I can figure that makes a difference, Joe, besides
Oh, here he goes again.
where
trying
we're
to figure
sitting,
it out.
is maybe because of the lack of breeze and the fact that there's more weight on the front of the boat, it's creating this little draft for these fish to school in up front. What do you think, Rick?
He gives as good as he gets. I give it right back to him. And it's all fun. It's all in fun. You know, the guy's beginning to grow on me.
Whoa! Almost pulled a Joe.
It's kind of neat because when you spend this much time with a guy, you get to know him pretty well. And Brad's has his points when he gets frustrated. You know, so do I. So do we all. That's how
It's a little one.
But the most part, you get out there in the water and fish, and he starts in with the banter, and I'll give it back to him, or I'll start in, and he'll give it back to me. And it just makes it interesting, you know, when you're sitting there waiting for fish to hit the lines, you know, and you start the conversation. And some of the guys couldn't tell. Are they serious? Well, put them in a cage. Let them go at it, you know. And I'm going, no, it's not like that. It's just it's all in good fun.
You got a fish on there?
I think so. Yeah. A little guy. I was surprised at the numbers. I figured it was going to be a high number, but I beat my personal best by one fish, and I thought that was pretty cool. And in a matter of, I think, a couple hours, we had nailed something like 50 or 60 fish between the two of us, which is just incredible.
Great. What do you think, Joseph?
Nice.
It was just a great first day. I mean, Between Joe and I, we caught, I think, 51 fish, 47 of which were largemouth bass, and I suspect just about any bass fisherman in the country would think what a great day that is.
Now, for the Rods and Wheels off-the-wall comment of the day.
Hammer.
Whoa! Almost pulled a Joe.
Oh.
Rods and Wheels is presented by WAHL Facial Hair Trimmers, the brand used by professionals.
An unbelievable day of trophy bass fishing continues from Lake Okeechobee. Brad Beasley and Sergeant Joe KOWALSKI have come with high expectations for this fishery. And boy, has it delivered. Having caught more bass than they ever imagined, the guys decided to try a little something different on the lake.
I've never been on an airboat, and while we were down here on Lake Okeechobee, Joe and I got a chance to ride on an airboat.
I was expecting to find a little bit more up and running and going about 90 miles an hour over the top of the water. Well, this was a tour type thing that we had other people with. So he kind of stopped and started, stopped and started, stopped and like, put this thing in high gear. Let me see what you'll do, son. Open her up a little bit. Didn't happen, but he let it rock and roll a couple of times.
I got to see a lot of alligators, and we got an opportunity to see a lot of neat birds and some flora and fauna that you wouldn't otherwise see from a regular boat.
I'm not picking flowers, but okay, he'll be there. Enough of the airboat, let's go, come on. It's time to fish. So Rick, what do you think we got a shot at catching?
Who knows? We get a 10-pounder, 11-pounder. Who knows? She's out there.
Thank you, son. Thank you. That's what we're looking for.
That's what we're after. We're always
anything
after
over 8.6. Okay. We were looking for big fish the second day we were out. That was the primary goal. Once the wind kicked up, the bait fish started moving around. Those fish were a little easier to draw out of the grass. We found a good grassy point, set them out there, and sure enough, wham! Come here, old big. Come on. Oh! Oh, big! Oh, big! Yes!
Hey, that's a nice fish, Joe.
Yes! Woo! Oh, big! Ah!
That's what you were looking for.
That's what I came down here to catch. That is a nice fish. Oh, big!
There wasn't a need to find it, but there was certainly that increased desire, a certain amount of intensity from Joe's standpoint, because he had looked forward so much to fishing Lake Okeechobee. He wanted to give it everything he could to give himself every opportunity to catch that big fish.
Weighs more than I thought it did.
Yeah.
It's solid. Look at that gut. That's why.
Ah, that's the right picture, right there.
Nice fish. Good job.
That's a real nice fish.
All right, darling, let's put you back in the water. Mwah, thank you. It's gonna be a fun one, but that's gonna be difficult because I just can't. Ow! Oh. There you go. That is what we came down here to do. Catch that. I'd like to catch either a couple more of those or just one big 10-pound bass.
I think we may be looking for another gar.
I think so.
Oh man, it hit like a gar, and I took one look at the flash that I saw and I said, that fish is bigger than the one I hauled in.
Looks like a real nice bass.
Pull the rod down that way. There you go. And then reel her.
Whoa. Reel them in there, son.
Nice and easy. It's not ready.
That's a nice
man.
fish. That's a nice fish. Whoa! Oh, big.
It was apparent immediately when we pulled the fish in the boat that it was bigger than Joe's, and Joe was gracious. I mean, he was extremely excited for me because that was by 3 pounds the biggest bass I'd ever caught. And while Joe was, I know he was genuinely excited for me that I had caught that type of fish. I think that cranked the pressure up on him a little bit because here he's the big bass fisherman, and all of a sudden I've caught the biggest bass, you know, on his lake, Lake Okeechobee. And it wasn't 10 minutes later when we were getting ready to leave that I hooked another large bass. Come here, baby.
Nice and easy.
Nice. Wow. The look on his face was like, oh my God!
Beautiful.
Oh, I think this one's heavier, Joe.
Might be.
I think
it
he's
is.
a little heavier.
When you bring somebody down who's never bass fished, that kind of stuff is priceless.
With each new location comes a growing appreciation for the region, its fisheries, and its people. Brad and Joe are living out a dream and catching tons of fish along the way. Back on the road, one less stretch of highway separates these two anglers from their last fishing destination of the trip, the Everglades.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Become a better angler. Log on to ESPNOutdoors.com.